What's going on with that PPP? You done a lot of talking, not a lot to see. Up in the millions like 2.3, but Jeff got it all, getting off scot-free. Try to talk tips like we talking about stock, but you're talking about men printed on called stock. When you open your mouth, I take it with a grain of salt, cause the market's down and you're a clown, it's all your fault. You ruin the hobby I love with your bullshit. Jeff Wilson, Jeff Wilson. You ruin the hobby I love with your bullshit. Jeff Wilson, Jeff Wilson. Did you dip, Jeff? I think you dipped, Jeff. What you talking about? I don't think you dipped yet. Willie's doing shady shit like the GOBs, like his whole failed thing with them NFTs, taking money from the people to pay. Most of them are broke, but that's okay, he's getting money. Even better, tax-free, loving all the stimulus from PPP. You ruin the hobby I love with your bullshit. Jeff Wilson, Jeff Wilson. You ruin the hobby I love with your bullshit. Jeff Wilson, Jeff Wilson. You ruin the hobby I love with your bullshit. Jeff Wilson, Jeff Wilson. You ruin the hobby I love with your bullshit.
B-side on the beat.
What's going on with that PPP? You done a lot of talking, not a lot to see. Up in the millions like 2.3, but Jeff got it all, getting off scot-free. Try to talk tips like we talking about stock, but you're talking about men printed on called stock. When you open your mouth, I take it with a grain of salt, cause the market's down and you're a clown, it's all your fault. You ruin the hobby I love with your bullshit. Jeff Wilson, Jeff Wilson. You ruin the hobby I love with your bullshit. Jeff Wilson, Jeff Wilson. Did you dip, Jeff? I think you dipped, Jeff. What you talking about? I don't think you dipped yet. Willie's doing shady shit like the GOBs, like his whole failed thing with them NFTs, taking money from the people to pay. Most of them are broke, but that's okay, he's getting money. Even better, tax-free, loving all the stimulus from PPP. You ruin the hobby I love with your bullshit. Jeff Wilson, Jeff Wilson. You ruin the hobby I love with your bullshit. Jeff Wilson, Jeff Wilson. You ruin the hobby I love with your bullshit. Jeff Wilson, Jeff Wilson. You ruin the hobby I love with your bullshit.
What is going on, everybody? Hopefully, you guys are doing well out there. That is right. It is a tradition unlike any other. It's Sports Card Radio live tonight on location at the secret location, joined none other than by Ryan here on the channel. Got a lot of news in the hobby going on, so we are going to jump basically right into things. Ryan, what's going on tonight?
Guys, how we're doing? Hopefully you enjoyed either some golf, some baseball, maybe some NBA action, pickleball. I saw that Leaf Cards Brian Gray signed apparently the two top pickleball players to an exclusive. So I'm sure you guys are uber excited about that. We do have exciting developments in the sports card world, probably, percolating and breaking as we speak. Guys, we got big moves happening. Why don't we jump right into it? Shams Charania, you guys who follow the NBA, this guy's basically, along with Woj, the Adam Schefter of tweeting. So when this guy says a trade's going to go through, it basically does. When this guy says somebody's going to sign somebody, it basically happens. Shams and Woj and Adam Schefter, kind of, in the Jeff Passan in baseball, kind of the guys when they tweet something. He says the other day, tweets this, I believe this was 2 days ago, fun development. Fanatics is launching basketball cards under its Topps brand, beginning with the 2023-24 season, which is next season, which is Victor Wembanyama. Industry sources say. Now, that could be a number of different things. Is Fanatics and Topps going to make unlicensed basketball cards? They would have to still get a Players Association license, and similar to Leaf, they would airbrush out the logos. Finest Basketball came out a couple years ago, with some old school legends. Is that what Shams means? We don't know. Woj didn't follow up with a tweet, but we got some news breaking yesterday that there are tons of people, Panini still has the NBA license until 2026, guys. Okay. So Shams tweets, hey, Fanatics is going to make basketball cards next year. I'm going to assume that's with logos. Okay. And the next day, we have sudden resignations at Panini. Many of these guys were wearing Panini polo shirts at the Mint Collective, literally on panels. There were 3 or 4 Panini guys on a Mint Collective panel, and they all work at Fanatics now, guys. They weren't fired. They resigned suddenly. So if Panini's still going to make cards till 2026, and these weren't guys that were hired yesterday, some of these guys were there since the inception of Panini in 2009. Some of them were there at Donruss before Panini came around in 2009. 14-year employees, guys, suddenly up and left Panini for Fanatics. I heard from a very well-connected industry source that there is a whirlwind of activity happening right now. We have lots of people leaving Panini to suddenly go to Fanatics. We have Shams, one of the leading basketball reporters in the world, saying that Topps is going to begin making basketball cards next year, not in 2026, next year. So we got a lot going on. We don't know. We actually don't know for sure what is happening here, but it would be my guess that at some point here, we're going to get an announcement that either the NBA, I love how, people say, oh, the licenses, who controls the license? The NBA. Could the NBA just wake up one morning and say, hey, Panini, sorry. If you got a problem with that, we'll see you in a U.S. court or an Italian court, whoever you got a problem with. And we're gonna let Fanatics just make basketball cards. That very well could happen. Okay? The NBA makes the rules, guys. So we don't know what is happening. I'm sure there are nervous group breakers, nervous shop owners wondering what the heck is going on. I don't think these are going to be unlicensed cards that Topps is going to come out. And then two years later, they're going to come out with licensed ones. That doesn't make any sense at all. That literally makes no sense at all. Something is happening. We have an industry source saying there's a whirlwind of activity. We had close to 10 longtime Panini employees dip out the door to the Fanatics literally yesterday. They were at the Mint Collective on a panel for Panini, wearing Panini polo shirts, and then the next day they work for Fanatics. So we've got a whirlwind of activity in the sports card world. What do you think is going on?
Well, I tell you what, obviously there's some industry discussion that we can have here with different types of employees, but I think the thing that I'm the most excited about is the fact that we're going to have Topps cards. And as we're going through Goldin auctions, going through eBay, all those types of things, we're seeing all these old Topps basketball cards that they used to make, Topps Chrome Refractors, just so many great sets that Topps made in basketball. And next year in the NBA is likely going to be a fantastic year with Victor Wembanyama. As long as he stays relatively healthy, he's going to get a ton of hype and obviously likely going to be the number 1 pick as well. Watching a little bit of the college basketball, looks like there's other talent obviously coming down the pipe as well. And so things are just going to be really exciting next year when it comes to basketball cards. And if you get Topps in the mix and they're making the license card, and who knows what's going to happen with Panini. We've heard a lot of rumors when it comes to Fanatics that they've tied up the printing facility that almost every manufacturer uses, including Panini. And so, look, that could be part of it. But like you said, it's actually the leagues that hold basically, it's the league's rights. Okay. Yes, Panini has a contract, but I'm sure these things are written and there's lots of ways to change these contracts. There's a lot of ways to get out of them. Famously, Under Armour was supposed to be, if you were watching baseball now, you see a Nike logo. That was actually Under Armour's contract. Under Armour signed that contract. They were going to have their logo on the jerseys, but something happened there. Something happened from Under Armour's perspective, and they couldn't do it anymore. And so these things do happen in the license world. It's relatively rare, but it does happen. And I actually think it's kind of exciting. I know that there's people that are watching this that are super excited about all the Panini products. And like you said, there's a lot of dealers. There's a lot of people that have allocation, that have shops, that have a lot of investment built up into Panini products. And now it looks like Fanatics is going to take hold of that NBA license. And who knows, maybe we'll get football at some point as well. This is just the NBA. Maybe football comes right down the line as well, a little bit sooner than expected. Off the top of my head, I don't recall how long Panini has with their football licenses, but boy, I think this is an exciting time in the hobby, and I'm looking forward to a lot of the new products. I'm looking forward to Topps Now NBA cards. I'm looking forward to all the different refractors, Topps Chrome, Bowman Chrome, maybe Heritage. There's just so many sets that we haven't seen in such a long time when it comes to Topps and the basketball, that I tell you what, LeBron's first basketball card in a long time. How about there's a lot of players that have never had a Topps basketball card, like a Luka card, or, any number of different players out there. They're going to have their first NBA cards on Topps, and I think it's going to create a lot of buzz and a lot of excitement in the hobby. Not that Panini wouldn't be able to do that with Victor Wembanyama, but we've seen the release date cadence with Panini kind of fall out of favor and be a little bit jumbled. I tell you what, I'm actually excited about Fanatics coming in. The stuff about the employees, the stuff about all the stuff that's happening kind of from an employment perspective, that certainly is very interesting, and obviously is a developing situation as well.
It's an exciting time, and I think next week's going to be an exciting week because you had about a dozen guys. If Panini still needs to make cards, they've got to hire some people. Their vice president of product development left. The guy who runs their printing left for Fanatics. He worked there for 14 years at Panini. Literally go to LinkedIn right now. If you guys are on LinkedIn, just search Panini Fanatics and you'll see all the guys who literally spent 9 to 10 years to 14 years at Panini and literally left yesterday to go to Fanatics. So we have something brewing here. Shams wouldn't have tweeted this unless he got, some kind of big solid information. He probably isn't too in tune to how the licensing works and the whole, Panini and Topps and Fanatics. And so we need a little more clarification here. Are these going to be licensed cards? Is Panini cooked? Is there a merger? Is Fanatics going to buy Panini? Is Panini going to go bankrupt? I mean, it's really weird that 10 employees who worked there for 14 years and who just went to an industry conference that had Panini attached to their name tag, and then the next day they're at Fanatics. And I've got people saying that, boy, some whirlwind of activity happened in the last couple of days, clearly. And we have a lot of drama brewing in the sports card world. So I think it'll be an eventful week, next couple of weeks, to see what is really going on. Panini, who is virtually silent on all things, on your redemption cards, on product manufacturing, on customer service, on marketing, they've been silent for the better part of a year now. Are we finally going to see Fanatics take over Panini? Is Panini just being stubborn and now they just lost a bunch of employees to Fanatics? Very, very, very interesting news. Regardless if you're kind of keep track of the scoreboard of these employees and kind of the companies, if you're just interested in the cards themselves, this is very exciting that potentially you're going to see NBA and potentially NFL cards much sooner than anticipated. That's kind of what we got brewing.
Yeah, and it looks like, I would assume that the hobby is going to be kind of split on this. Obviously you're going to have these breakers that are in deep with Panini, and, they've got their 6 inches, inserted inside of Panini. And so they're not going to like to see any kind of change. And Fanatics is obviously going to be dealing with who they want to deal with. So for us, it's going to be exciting. And I can't wait to see the different cards that come out. And I really can't wait to see a lot of this employee fallout as well. That is somewhat concerning to me, that a lot of these employees over at Panini are going to Fanatics. It's not like we're taking Hall of Fame members and then moving them over to another company. We're talking about, a lot of people that, quite frankly, haven't been doing a very good job over at Panini, that have really seen the brand deteriorate over the past couple of years, haven't addressed a lot of the issues, not very comfortable addressing issues with customers. I'm a little sick of it. I'm sick of dealing with redemption cards, expired redemptions. I'm sick of hearing the stories about how people don't get their cards back, or they're damaged, or they try to contact Panini and they've got to call 10 different times and they don't have anybody come back. I'm sick of that. I'm really, really sick of that. And the fact that Fanatics is pulling employees away from Panini, I'm just not super excited about it.
Shout out to everybody watching. We've got, it looks like over 300 people watching us for some reason on a Thursday night, first day of the Masters, first week of baseball season. We've got basketball, the basketball season really heating up. Got some huge games happening in the NBA. So we've got a lot of things happening. Again, I kind of echo those sentiments. Hey, maybe this isn't a good thing that Fanatics is poaching employees from Panini, considering we've seen the level of customer service, the level of marketing, and just the overall crappy job that Panini has done for the better part of a couple years. Some may say their entire time since 2009 in the sports card world. So I think next week is going to be a big week. We say that quite often, but we're going to see what happens here. We have other news. Speaking of employees, we have the Topps employee. Remember, we talked about this last week, accused in a consignment scam. He was running kind of a large consignment business on eBay, and then suddenly he kind of ghosted all these people really since September 2022. I've been hearing from customers. Richard Zangrillo has still been ghosting people that he owes cards and money to. Apparently, this is a rumor, Topps has suspended his employment. So more bad news for Richard. I did see that Dan the Cardman, I did not have an opportunity to watch this, but it looks like some of the people who consigned to Richard have reached out to Dan and are starting to share their horror stories. So this is definitely a video that you're going to want to watch, definitely going to want to pass around, because again, we can't have these things happening. We can't have people in prominent positions, working for Topps, working for Fanatics, working for Panini, who basically scam lots of high-profile people in the hobby. It really doesn't matter who they're scamming, but this guy is scamming multiple people in the hobby. He owes cards and money to maybe over 100 people. We're probably talking up to a 5 to 6 figure scam. And we did hear this is just breaking news into the Sports Card Radio program within the last hour. We did hear a rumor that he has been suspended from his employment at Topps. So, hey, maybe that's one of the reasons why Fanatics and Topps has had to go over and poach some more employees from Panini, because, God, they just lost one over here over at Topps. So, again, you're going to want to watch this Dan the Cardman video where it looks like he has spoken with some of the victims. They are starting to come out. They're starting to come forward. And we will see, again, another week has gone by here. He's continuing to ghost his customers. And now it does appear that Fanatics has maybe put him on some kind of suspension, termination. So we shall see. What are your thoughts on Richard?
Well, I echo a little bit of what, we talked about last week. I don't know why you would deal with somebody like this. Look, there's no perfect consigner. There's no perfect, business really in the world, for that matter, let alone in the hobby. But, I don't understand with all the options out there, with all the good places that are at least semi-decent to sell your cards, why you would send it to some no-name guy that literally, did he have a card shop? No, I don't even think he had a card shop. It was like just some guy on the internet selling cards. It's a really, really bad idea not to really put down the victims of this crime. It's not their fault. But look, we got to start using our heads with these types of things, and not. I said we could use our heads with these types of things. I was expecting you to put up the other. There you go. Not daps.
Sorry.
There we go. We're going to use our heads with these types of things and start consigning our cards with.
Look at who she's using.
So. Well, fair enough. So I just think we should. we should continue to monitor the situation. Obviously, I think the guy is, Matt Petty or Mike Petty says this guy will probably be a PWCC next week. It wouldn't surprise me, quite frankly. So I'm just sick of this. I'm sick of, I'm sick of people getting ripped off. I'm sick of the stuff happening at Panini. I'm sick of Jeff Wilson recommending that, the card world, all of a sudden we're at the bottom in the card market. Just kind of a random topic for you, Ryan. We'll switch gears just a little bit. The card market, a lot of people want to have opinions on these types of things. A lot of people, we're coming into the card show season, if you will. We've got a couple coming up. Obviously, we're kind of rolling up into the national. Summertime tends to be a little bit hotter when it comes to card shows and those types of things. There's a lot of people wondering, what's up with this card market. Obviously, with basketball, I think it's going to be a hot year, but it's going to be expensive, okay? Anytime you do have a hot rookie year, it's going to be expensive. Can there be some value there? Maybe, but we'll see what happens. Where do you see this market? Because there's a lot of people tuning in. I think we have a mix of people that tune into our channel. There's the OGs that have been around the business as long as we have, maybe even a little bit longer. And look, they understand that there's bubbles. There's a lot of things that kind of go up and down in this hobby, and it's kind of a fluid situation. So, where, and then there's going to be newer people that got in when Jeff Wilson got his second PPP loan and was telling people to buy cards at the top. There's a lot of people that just experienced the bubble. Okay. They really only experienced the bubble. And I think you put out a video this week that was relatively well received. And I think you talked just broadly about, I don't even know if the video was completely about kind of the card market, but I think we're looking at a more normalized market, but one where we're not going to see those massive increases. Yes, Web and Yama cards are going to be expensive, relatively speaking, but it's not going to boost up the eighth pick who's a white guy who is going to come off the bench for whoever, and so we're not going to see that exponential growth. We're not going to see Bo Jackson cards triple in a 3-month period, or even like Michael Jordan cards or Kobe Bryant cards. Okay. But during the bubble, we were seeing, like Ken Griffey Jr. cards triple in value. So a little bit more normalized market. Are you excited about this? What are your feelings about the overall market as we see Miss Rips here?
I'm very excited about them. I think we're going to be in a flat to down period for the next couple years, at least, probably until we get a new president, new tax laws, some kind of change of legislation. It's a shame that the people during the sports card boom, not everybody, but a lot of the people, Jeff Wilson, the names, they didn't talk about how when the entire card market was booming, they didn't talk about, hey, this is because of the broader economy. And in large part, we've seen the card prices decline and interest in cards kind of decline a little bit because of the broader economy, because you go to the grocery store and a box of cereal is $8, because 12 eggs is, $15. This is in large part why. That's not going to change this summer. Boxes of cereal aren't going to be $2. It's still going to be $8. I see inflation. I see the broader economy being weak, probably until the next election cycle. And so when is that? 2024? 2026? So I think a year or two out, and that's going to frustrate people. There are a lot of people who got into this hobby, and the only way they can have a positive experience is when cards go up, arrow up, all cards go up. A lot of people got into this hobby, and like you said, they saw every single card rise in value, from the iconic cards, old cards, vintage cards, new cards, Luka, Trae Young, Bo Jackson, Michael Jordan, Kareem, all cards went up. Guys, that's not how it works. That's not how it works. So we've seen a normalizing. When somebody does really well, you do see maybe potentially their cards move if they're not overprinted, which most of the modern guys are. So we've seen a normalization in the market. What's going to frustrate people who came along in the last couple of years is, guys, even when we do have a next big boom in the market, all cards aren't going to go up in value. It's still going to see little green shoots of somebody performing well, interest in a particular brand, interest in a particular set. It's not going to be all cards. So you're going to have to be smarter. So the dealers and the people who are smarter about things and who build real businesses are going to probably have some success. So I'm very excited. I like buying cards in a down market. Doesn't mean that you have to wait for the bottom to buy cards. That doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense. Even if you knew when the proverbial bottom was, how many cards could you buy at the bottom? That's why we've always preached on this show to continuously buy and sell in the market at all times. So even when things are red hot, you're probably doing a lot more selling, but you're continuously buying and reselling in all markets in the sports card market. So I'm excited because, for instance, on Goldin tonight, when I was flipping through these auctions, guys, things just seemed like they were going to end cheap tonight, whether it was the Masters, maybe, warmer weather and people are getting out and these auctions aren't, for whatever reason, this week's auction, it did seem like there was a lot of cheaper stuff on there. And I was bidding on a lot of different things. We still have 1,900 winning bids with about 10 minutes left in this auction. Well, and then there goes to extended bidding. We're going to win a fair amount of stuff, it looks like. Now, some of these bids are for next week. Next week, he has a really good auction. I mean, just for instance, like some of these things that he has here, like this huge Manny Machado collection, that's just like, one little thing. So I think the deals on sports cards could potentially get better in the next few months, because it's starting to dawn on people that, hey, we're in a 2 or 3 year decline. You go to the grocery store, a box of cereal's $8. People aren't going to be pouring money into cards. You're not going to get PPP money anymore. You're not going to get stimulus money anymore. Half the country isn't going to be on an unemployment and get $300 extra a week to just stay at home. Probably never happen again in our lifetime. Quite literally, we will never see that type of money and that type of stimulus in our lifetime again. We may never see another sports card boom like that again. Okay, that's going to make some people cry. That's going to make some people, oh, this is negative. Oh, I should just get out and go chase the next hot thing. No, I want to come in here and good deals on cards, because I think there are going to be plenty of good deals on cards in the next year or two. And this is how you're going to build a business. And then when the economy does turn around, when there's tax changes, when there's political changes, and you do see that just little slight uptick again in cards and in the economy, just basically the broader economy. When you see that uptick again, you want to have 15,000 cards in your Check Out My Cards account. You want to be actively buying and selling on Goldin. You want to have auctions going off basically every week, potentially on Goldin. Okay, that's what we're actually trying to do. All these cards are going to go on auction in about a week. Okay, we're constantly now sending cards in to be graded so that they go on auction. So you don't want to wait for the bottom. You want to start your business now. Great businesses, great opportunities start now. I'm not trying to preach to a lot of you guys. A lot of you guys who are just collectors and who are just interested in cards. Guys, we haven't seen prices this low on some of these cards in 3 to 4 to 5 years. Some of you who took the whole pandemic and the whole COVID and the whole sports card boom off because you were like, dude, I used to buy in 2016. I used to be able to buy boxes for $50 and buy my PC guys for $10, $20. And grading used to be $8 a card. We're getting close to that point again, guys. Maybe not $8 grading, but we are getting close to where you can afford some of your PC cards, some of the cards you want. So now's the time that we're in a 3 year down cycle in cards to stay in it. We're staying in it. We're buying stuff every day. We're trying to sell stuff every day. And we're really probably going to try to ramp up the selling in the future. But like I said, I spent watching Tiger Woods struggle at Augusta today, spent quite a bit of time on Goldin trying to bid on some stuff. And I just felt like there were good deals, particularly today. I doubt Goldin was the only place where you can find deals. I bet there's deals all across the landscape right now because of the broader economy. So what do you think about the sports card industry?
I mean, it reminds me of where it was back in 2018, 2019. You had kind of a slow move up in card values. There was Ohtani there in one of those years, caught a lot of attention. In football, you constantly had Andrew Luck, you had RG3, you had Russell Wilson, you even had Johnny Manziel. You had some hype there but it tend to be centered around specific players. What we saw during that 2020 era, it's not going to come back. It's over. Okay. But I think this is an exciting era. And a lot of people are bringing this up in the chat too, as well, that we just still have so much printing that it's just still, the spigots have never been turned off, so to speak. There was a period of time, probably in the 2010s, 2011s, where you might have had slightly lower print numbers, but we have just astronomical print numbers going on in the cards. And I'm sure when Topps makes basketball next year, there's not going to be anything different. And so that is also going to have a factor in keeping a lid on the values. And in my opinion, kind of making things a little bit more approachable, honestly. So I think that things will be a little bit more approachable for more people, and we'll be able to get in here. Like this gentleman says, SCR is treating Goldin auctions like an all-you-can-eat buffet. I kind of like the format of one site, one seller. We'll do this on eBay as well. But I tell you what, the prices on eBay are for the most part retail. But for the most part, I went on Goldin's auction this week. I bid on every single Shaquille O'Neal card. I bid on every single Brett Favre card. I bid on every single Ken Griffey Jr. card. And our goal is to acquire maybe 10, 15 of the cards. And then Ryan's had success kind of posting those up on eBay and, doing large lot sales. I really think, though, our sales needs to accelerate very quickly to kind of call ourselves out. We haven't sold enough. I know that the cards are trickling in, and it's not an instant process of us buying these cards and immediately listing them for sale. But I really think we need to start putting the pedal to the metal here in the next couple of weeks when it comes to selling. And look, in this market, it's not easy. Okay, it's like a real estate market where you have a little bit more sellers than you do have buyers. And so there it is. And some people are going to say, look, like this guy, no, I have ethics, so Goldin is a no-go. Guy, bring up the picture of the guy that's scamming people. Okay, these are the guys that are no-goes. Okay. Yeah, there are problems at every single business. There are problems and issues at every single company. The thing to understand is Goldin is owned by PSA, probably the most valuable. Yeah, most people are going to be going to be talking about Fanatics being the most valuable company. PSA probably makes the most money and is the most financially healthy company in the business. Okay. And so if I'm going to be buying and selling, we're going to leverage that. And that is what it is. And look, if some of you guys are too prideful to do these types of things, by all means, I guarantee you, we can look at the gas you put in your car. We can look at the networks you watch on TV. We can look at the politicians that you vote for, and we can poke holes in everything that you do. There's no person that is so self-righteous that they're perfect. So, look, there's good deals to be had here, and there's no selling fees as well. And we've got, quite a few cards lined up, including some J-Rod autographs and a Derek Jeter 10-10 autograph coming up in our next go round with the auctions. And look, for no selling fees, it's not that bad. Bear, a guy, I think it was his birthday. Happy birthday. And he's saying he's using SGC. I trust their graders more. And look, if I were, there's 3 graders I would use. But if you're going for straight value, I think there's one to use. That's just my opinion. Ryan, what else do we got on tonight?
Yeah, well, to take you through, you said we need to do more selling. What I did do is I am starting to just essentially auction off some stuff. You can win this stuff on Goldin. I won this huge lot of 1963 top stuff, basically, right? There was a Willie McCovey. There's this card here, right? I won these cards for like about $26 a card. And I figured, well, why not? There was 8 of them. Why not just re-auction them and see if I can make money? So, you guys actually in about a week or two will be able to kind of see, did we have success or fail? Some of these cards that you're seeing here, like this J-Rod card, this is a card that we just sent in to get graded. Came back a PSA 10. This card here, PSA 9. So these are cards that once they're in your Goldin vault or the PSA vault, you can literally just click sell. And you literally could click sell right now. It's the April 6th. And you could click sell if the card is in your PSA vault, and it will go live on April 11th. So just 5 days later, it will appear in this auction here that goes live on Tuesday. This card here I bought on eBay. Bought from DC Sports, shipped directly with no tax. Didn't ever touch this card. Sent right to the PSA vault, uploaded in a day or two. And I figured, shoot, I paid $9 for this. Can I get 15? Probably. Same thing with this Bryant Reeves. Paid $5 for this card. Delivered. Okay, delivered. Can I get 9 for it? Probably. 12? Probably, right? So that's the strategy there. Here's a box of cards that I bought on Goldin for $2.50. These are peeling off on his marketplace for $10 with no fees. Can I get $10 for this? $12 for this? Probably. I'd be willing to bet that, yes, this is going to sell for $10 or $12. There'll be a $3 fee if you sell something for under $15, and we'll still make probably triple our money on that. So that's kind of the game plan. Again, we just got actually a lot of our inventory quite recently. So I think the selling will ramp up. We'll probably do some videos. We'll probably talk about it on this live. Again, some people are sellers. Some people are strictly collectors. And we love all of you. And I think in a down market, which we are in now, which we are literally like in a 2-year down market. And I think we're going to be in another 2 years. So we're going to be in a 3 and come back in another year or two. We're going to be a 3 or 4 year downturn market. I think this is the time to start a business. I think this is the time to start looking at those cards that you weren't able to afford or couldn't find a couple of years ago. Those cards might turn up at auction now. Those cards might be affordable now. Okay. And the overprinting, whoever said the overprinting, I mean, that is just exactly right. And with Fanatics coming in, guys, you think Fanatics is going to stop printing cards? You think Fanatics is going to be like, hey, let's dial it back. Let's do the collectors a solid. Let's make sure these cards are worth money. Heck no. Fanatics is trying to 10x their business, which means they probably need to 10x their print run. So we got, I mean, whoa. I would love to be a single card seller right now, because what's going to be cheap? Single cards. You think Fanatics is going to unload their boxes for cheap? No. You think it's going to be easy to break in and be a group breaker with Fanatics? No. You think those products are going to be cheap? You think you're ever going to get a good deal on wax? No. Because you want to talk about a controlled market. You want to talk about a manipulated market. There's a lot of talk about, the auction houses are manipulated, shill bidding. Guys, the most manipulated market is the box industry, because you have an exclusive license owned by one company, and then you have 2 or 3 distributors, Peach State, Southern Hobby, GTS, and then you have 2 or 3 big online sellers, DA, Steel City, Blowout, who all control the price on you guys. These boxes should be half as much as they are now, guys. Why are boxes still $300, $400, $500 when it's $8 for a effing box of cereal at the grocery store? These boxes should be cheaper. Why is it not cheaper? Because the market is heavily, heavily regulated and heavily manipulated from the top, bottom, because there's only a couple people involved. There's there's the people who have the license, Panini, Fanatics, Topps, and they literally sell the 3 or 4 people, and they all effing butt F you guys who buy wax. Do you ever see us at Sports Card Radio buy a box of cards and open it? F no. Because it is the most fucking manipulated market. You get screwed when you buy a box of cards. Those boxes should be half as much as they are now. In the past, the market wasn't as manipulated as much. These people did have to put boxes on clearance. These boxes were cheap. That has all changed. They know you guys are addicted. Some of you guys are addicted to opening packs and opening boxes. That is an addiction. The box breaks on Whatnot is an addiction. Why are you guys buying into some of these people on Whatnot? Because it's an addiction. It's gambling. I lived in Vegas. I've seen it. I've seen gambling addiction. So single cards, in my opinion, are the best value, because that is the one market where you're not going to get manipulated, where there are 4,000 listings on Goldin everywhere, where there are 10,000 listings on PWCC, where there are millions of listings on Check Out My Cards, where there are how many listings on eBay? Probably 10 million. if you want to be, you got to stop buying. In my opinion, you got to stop buying these boxes. These prices have got to come down, but there is an addiction. There's hundreds of group breakers who prop the price up, right? Because they can buy a box, chop it out 30 ways and sell it to you guys. And you guys think you're getting value buying into these breaks. So we got a long way to go in terms of wax prices, but we're seeing single prices crater. We're literally seeing single prices crater. Okay, that was the point of my video. I was showing cards that were down 30, 40% since October, let alone 2020, where they're down 80, 90%. And these are LeBron James cards. These are Michael Jordan cards. These are the kind of the cream of the crop. So I'm excited because we're in a down market. I think we got another 2 years of down market. I don't need arrow up to get excited. I don't need arrow up to make money. It's exciting when that day will happen, but I think we're a couple years away, and you're going to want to have a crap ton of cards in your Check Out My Cards account. You're going to want to have a ton of cards listed on Goldin. Okay, we have 2,700 cards listed on Goldin, guys. We're going to want to have $27,000 or more listed on here in a year or two. Because when you do see recovery, holy cow, you're gonna have tick, 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 tick. You're gonna be selling stuff every day, and you're gonna have a huge advantage on all other sellers, on all of the people who are trying to get in the next couple of years. And anybody who's an OG in this hobby and who didn't pick up cards in 2020, who didn't pick up cards by watching Jeff Wilson videos, guys, you guys have the real advantage because you have the perspective of this market, of what this market really is. It's not, this market doesn't just go boom. It's a lot of just steady gains, steady wins, stay in it week after week, bid on stuff, find some sellers that you trust. Okay. Find some sellers that you trust selling with. Guys, should we sell cards with this MFer over here? Or do you think we're going to get paid if we sell cards on PSA's website?
We already got paid, so no concerns about that. I see. Yeah, we have 2,700 cards. No wonder we don't have impressive sales stats yet. 2,700 is not quite enough yet. But the stuff is slowly moving in, and I echo Ryan's sentiment. Look, opening a box of cards is fun. Getting into breaks is fun. We've all done it. We've bought into breaks before. We've sat in the chat room. It's exciting, but I tell you what, it's a losing game when it comes to that. And when the value of cards have gone down, and you're getting some decent value sometimes when you're buying some of this stuff, why buy? Why would we buy into an expensive card break or an overpriced card break when you can come on here and get some value on some different types of cards? Ryan, do you have some cards here that are kind of interesting? Some of the stuff that we've been looking at.
I don't know if I want anything interesting. I think you could get probably 75 to 100 each for these LeBron James figures. I mean, try to find these, first of all. These are from 06, 4 different figures. I think you could get close to actually 100 each on those. So those went for top. Hey, if you guys actually want to make some money, send anything to Goldin that says Kurt Cobain, Nirvana, or fucking Pearl Jam, and we're probably going to bid on it. Do I have any idea if this is worth any money? Absolutely freaking not. But it says Kurt Cobain. It says Smells Like Teen Spirit. It's a VHS tape. And yeah, of course I bid $55 on it because it says Kurt Cobain. So if you want to make some money, I know there were some actually, it take too long to find it, but there were some like Red Hot Chili Peppers cards in the Goldin auction that I did bid it on. It was John Frusciante and then the drummer for the Red Hot Chili Peppers. And I was like, those cards they were like $5, $6. They weren't 55. But so look, there's 3,000 listings on this Goldin stuff. A lot of the stuff that I found that were value were some of like the Super Bowl program right here, Super Bowl 3 program. You could get probably $150, $200 just for this. Like if whoever buys this for $168 after buyer's premium, he or she's going to make their money right there. And then whatever this is, this National League, this 1964 program, probably worth, I don't know, 20, 50, probably less, definitely less than the Super Bowl program. But they had a lot of these old Super Bowl programs, some of which I bought. that do, hey, they're not snap sells. They're not going to freaking snap sell like a Victor Wembanyama autograph, but they do sell. They're not a lot out there either. So you're not competing with a lot of people. So there's a lot of random items. You dig in, you watch golf, you watch baseball, you watch basketball, and you just come over here and you splash around. This card's always been a valuable card. I guarantee this card used to be worth way more. Mike Trout stuff has really declined in value. We have seen LeBron James stuff decline in value. Mike Trout stuff decline in value. Two of the best players in their sport. So that should tell you all you need to know. And then when we start going to the 10th and 12th tier players and some of these rookies who haven't panned out, I mean, these cards have declined heavily in value. I'm actually surprised that so many people have lost money on sports cards. Some of it is on paper because they don't sell their cards actually for a loss. That there's still this much interest in cards, that you can go to a show in Del Mar, that you can go to a show in San Jose, that you can go to a show in Dallas, that you can go to a show in Iowa, and it'll be freaking packed. So there's still interest in cards. The money just isn't as big. A lot of that money still gets blown on wax because it's an addiction. Okay. It's why the drug business, we're in the keep it real hour. Hey, when the economy's bad, the drug business doesn't do bad because you're addicted to drugs. You need your drugs, right? Same with alcohol. The alcohol business always does pretty well, right? Because a certain level of addiction to alcohol. The wax business, I cannot believe what you guys pay for these boxes. And then these singles end up on Goldin, on eBay, on ComC, and they sell for like the best hit you could hit out of these boxes. And you guys are paying like full price for it. It's unbelievable. If you were buying packs, boxes, and especially buying into breaks, like you have just got to look at it as you're lighting your money on fire. When you go to Vegas and you're out there having fun, and you just got to look at it as you're just going to light your money on fire. Okay, there is nobody in this hobby that can look you dead in the face and be like, hey, I'm a professional group break buyer, and I just buy into group break spots and I crush sports cards. Doesn't exist. The big sports card dealers don't buy into breaks, don't buy wax, don't open wax. Okay, if they buy wax, they're going to sell it. There's a reason for that. Buying wax, buying packs is a losing ballgame. I hope at some point these companies, Fanatics or Topps, will start to make these products cheaper. I doubt they will, because you have hundreds of group breakers who are able to buy these things, go live on Whatnot, chop it out 30 different ways, and apparently make a living on this. So to me, there's a disconnect, because there's still a lot of people in this hobby who are like, wait a sec, when I go to buy wax, when I go to buy break spots, the prices haven't come down. It's like going into a grocery store and the box of cereals $8. Well, you're still buying into these breaks and they're still very expensive. You still pre-selling these products and they're still very expensive. There's a reason for that. That market is heavily controlled by the people who own the license, the three distributors I mentioned, GTS, Southern Hobby, and Peach State, and the three big online sellers, Blowout Cards, DA, and Steel City. People don't realize how big those three companies are and how much control those companies are. Those three companies, specifically DA and Blowout, used to race to the bottom on price. This is like pre-2015, guys. Boxes of cards used to come out. They used to price them high. All the addicts would buy in. But then 2 months after a product come out, you would see like a race to the bottom on price. You would see clearance. I sold 63 cases of 2016 Topps Opening Day baseball on Amazon and made it the #1 product on Amazon. Why? Because I was able to get blaster boxes from DA Card World for $3.30 each. Okay? That was in prior to, obviously, to the sports card boom. Those days are over. What they have done now, instead of colluding on racing to the bottom, they actually now collude to keep the price high. You don't think that the guys at the distributors and Blowout and DA are talking to each other, hey, let's not race to the bottom on price. Let's hold the price. That's why you see map pricing at Panini, that you literally can't advertise the price under a certain cost for 90 days, 30 to 90 days. A lot of people probably don't even know that Panini mandates their dealers can't even lower the price of the box. I think it's 30 or 90 days. I think it's 90 days. So they have colluded against you guys, the collector, the hobbyist, the box buyers, and specifically the group breakers, to keep the hot price high. They are colluding against you. Okay. Not a lot of things. We don't talk about this a lot of times on the Sports Card channel because it's something we know and it's just something we totally stay away from. We do not buy wax. We do not do group breaks. I would rather go to Vegas and light money on fire a number of different ways, not just out of gambling. There's a lot of ways you can light your money on fire in Vegas that doesn't involve gambling. I would much rather do that than buy into breaks.
Was that an admission of something? Well, I guess we'll move by that. Looks like we won a lot of stuff, which is exciting. Looks like Mojo's trying to cozy up next to that young lady. She breaks, I guess. Maybe Mojo's trying to settle down. We'll see. He's certainly all about the vibes. We'll probably be in the same building as Mr. Mojo in the coming months ahead at a couple of shows that we are going to attend. Ryan, do we have any advice for the people when it comes to shows, or are we kind of rolling in there blind ourselves?
Well, we've been a few times. You actually kind of got to know the vibe of your show, and then you've got to bring enough inventory. You got to bring enough inventory, and then what's going to sell there. We like to kind of focus on the cheaper stuff. I know we're going to be set up at the Sacramento Card Show. Trust me, we're going to be blasting the heck out of this. So if you guys want to come see us, it's going to be May, a little north of Sacramento, 3-day show. We're going to be there. Tons of content. It's going to be fun. And a lot of the stuff that we bought off Goldin, I'm going to be shipping back to myself and trying to sell there. Just got a 50-pound box shipped to my house, actually, with some Goldin stuff. So I'm sure we'll be unboxing that. So with shows, I think you can use them as a liquidation opportunity, try to get some cash. Another thing you can do with shows is trade. So I'm going to have all my cards across the table here. And if anybody wants to come up and trade with me, I'm willing to do that because I think that's just a fun thing to do. And two people just trying to hammer out a deal. And a lot of times I'm actually trying to trade down. I might be trying to trade one card for 6 cards because that's just what I like to do. I'd rather trade a $100 card and then get 6 $30 cards if I can, or 6 $20 cards maybe, right? And maybe the one person getting the $100 cards feels like a good deal. So I think you could use card shows when you're set up as a dealer as a liquidation event. It's also an opportunity for you to get cash. It's an opportunity for you to trade with fellow people, and it's an opportunity to make connections with fellow dealers. So I'm very excited. We're going to be set up, I think, in Sacramento. We're going to be set up in San Jose. And so we're super excited to do that. I love setting up. I love going to card shows. It used to be a lot more fun when nobody knew who we were, but it is fun to go to these card shows. It'll be fun to actually be behind the table again. We've probably set up probably 4 or 5 different times as dealers. So it's I have the cases, I have the display cases. I know that I'm going to need all my inventory. It's a 3-day show, so I'm going to have to have enough stuff. I want to make it worth my while just in case it is a busy show. We are out here in California, and I have seen big shows pop out here in San Jose, in Fremont, in Hayward. I drove up to Fairfield, which is way up there by Napa, if anybody knows where that is. I mean, literally kind of out in the middle of nowhere. And there was a line of 200 people to get into that show, and all the way up in Fairfield. So we've got a strong hobby out here in kind of central Northern California. Got a lot of people. The amount of people that live within Sacramento, Stockton, Tracy, Bay Area, we're talking about millions of people, quite literally millions of people. And some of these MFers got to pay $3,000, $4,000 a month for their mortgage. So they might be able to come to a card show and spend $10, $20, $30 on a graded slab, which is what we're after. Hey, everybody has their own. I've sat next to dealers at card show tables. I've sat next to a dealer who would fly in. It was in Vegas. He flew into Vegas, and he had a display case with 6 cards. That was all he had with him, were 6 cards. I never saw him sell a card, and I think I saw him make a couple connections. But there are certain dealers that it's all about the connection for them. It's all about fun for them. It's all about maybe selling 1 or 2 things for them. And hey, let's be real. We're at the Keep It Real hour. Let's keep it effing real. Pretty much everybody, all 500 people watching, has probably been to a show in the last 6 months to a year. When you go up to the freaking dealer table and this guy's got $100 stickers on $30 cards. Okay. We've all have seen that. So for me, as a dealer, I know that when I'm walking into a show as a dealer, that probably half the MFers at the show have their stuff overpriced and people are just going to walk by. So imagine if you as a dealer have stuff reasonably priced. Have a box of $10 slabs. Have some commons for 10 cents, 50 cents, or whatever it is. Have some stuff that is priced at eBay or below, or be willing to give those kind of deals. We've had success. We've sold thousands of dollars at some card shows that we've been set up at where we've offered good deals, because probably most of the other dealers at the show aren't offering those kind of deals. So I don't think we're going to have any problem at these card shows as long as there's a reasonably good foot traffic. I think we paid $200 for the table today for 3 days.
Yeah,
I think we're going to make that back. It's a little far from me, so I'm probably going to stay up there to do the show. So there's going to be some cost incurred.
Yeah.
But it'll be fun to talk about on the show. Hey, I spent this much on a hotel room. I spent this much taking this girl out on a date. And then this girl came out right after. And then right. And so we can add up all the costs in terms of the dealer tables, in terms of my life expenses, and see if we can make any money.
I mean, I tell you what, if you could break even and you go on a few dates, hey, you know, you could be doing worse things in your life, I suppose, especially particularly in Sacramento. This is a little bit north of Sacramento, I think, is the show it's Roseville. Is that what it is? So a little bit north of Sacramento. And so, 3 days, $225 for a table. Obviously, like Ryan said, he's probably going to be staying up there. He's probably not going to be staying in, the Ritz-Carlton or anything like that. So, you're probably looking at, with food and travel and things like that, call it maybe $1,000 when it comes to the expenses. Can we make $1,000 in profit? Boy, you would have to bring up a lot of stuff. But like you said, when we go to these shows, what we've noticed is everybody's pricing their stuff at retail. Everybody's pricing their stuff at eBay. And look, and that's okay. If you have really expensive cards, if you have desirable cards, if you have a lot of money into them, you're not really looking to sell them. Maybe you're looking to do, a lot of dealers set up at these shows and they're looking to buy. They're looking for people to come there and then they're going to pay them 70 to 80 off and they're going to buy the cards, or maybe not 70, 80 off. It's more like 20 to 30 off. And so, look, there's a lot of reasons to set up at a show, but I think one of the strategies that has worked for us in the past is show up and price this stuff to move and liquidate a lot of your inventory and see what happens, I suppose. Do we want to go to question and answers, or do you have anything else? Do you have some other stuff here?
No, let's do it.
Okay, so we had $1.99 coming in from Professor X. Thank you. The backyard gapes with the hashtag. The Flying Scottman says wants to see Ryan and Jeff Wilson throw down on the next YouTube boxing event. Would you box Jeff Wilson?
Absolutely not. I'm 40 years old, bro. Like, you should ask me when I was in my freaking teens or something. Guys, I'm 40. I'm old. I went on a snow sled out here about 2 hours ago on a freaking
I
almost died. I mean, good thing we didn't have that on video, because I'm probably, my hands are still scraped up. You're lucky I got peeled off the floor by my nephews there who saved me. So absolutely freaking not. I'm not boxing anybody. Now, what I will do, we did have a moment, remember, when Seablez and Santiago Sports, there was a potential boxing match. Guys, I would love it. Sports Card Radio could go live for a boxing match. I don't know who else Jeff Wilson has beef with. Maybe the local district attorney potentially in a year or two in Atlanta. I'd love to see that boxing match. No, absolutely not. We're not fighting anybody. I think I can speak to you. We're not fighting anyone over here at Sports Card Radio. I'm 40 years old. If you guys want to fight someone, I can give you a location in downtown Stockton where, trust me, you could just walk down there at any moment and they'd be looking for a fight and you'd be getting in a fight. So no, I would, if Jeff Wilson did want to come on the program and he gave me a few days notice, it wasn't like he could call in now and I'm 2 drinks in and 2 smokes in and I can't even think straight, right? But if he gave me a couple days notice to get some questions together for the community and for the fans, to ask him some questions about a litany of topics. Whoa, boy, we could get into a lot of different topics, right? but I'd want a couple days to prepare. That's the only type of ring or kind of match that I'm getting involved in. Absolutely not. Jeff Wilson probably looks like he's in a little better shape than I am. I'm a running around chasing women, okay, doing illegal narcotics and having drinks.
I thought they're legal now.
Not all of them are legal.
Okay.
Okay. Marijuana's legal.
Okay. When Money Mike wants to know when the dance battle with Seablaz and the SER boys is happening. And next time we see Seablaz, he didn't make it out to the Del Mar show. If he makes it out to one of these other Northern California shows, we'll definitely have a dance battle with Mr. Seablaz and maybe a dinner as well. We've seen some of the talent that I saw some of the talent he was hanging out with in Arizona. I think Ryan would love to have a night out with Seablaz on the town. Sure. High Fade says, what cards are you grading to send to Goldin? I don't know if you can pull those up. I had just some cards laying around from the Topps conference. They were J-Rod autographs. There was a Jeter card that I was lucky enough to get in a 582 Montgomery set. That came back 10-10 autograph card grade. And so there's a J-Rod. I don't know what those are worth. $300-400 in PSA 10 condition. There's another one that is a dual autograph with Edgar Martinez. Same thing, probably $300-400 on that. And then there's an Edgar Martinez, I don't know, $80, $90 in 10-9 condition. The prize was this Jeter autograph. I would assume this card is probably out of 5. There's probably not more than 5 of these. My guess is it's a pop one in this condition as well. And so a Jeter autograph 10-10 condition. That's what we sent in. Ryan sent in some more cards that he bought off Check Out My Cards. Mm-hmm. I did a video on the Clips channel where I have some base cards. Look, we're not professionals at this, but the price of the grading has gone down so much that you're really looking in. This may not be the best strategy, but in my opinion, what you're looking to do is just go for the 10s. If you're breaking even constantly on the 9s and then an 8s, depending on the card or whatever, maybe you lose a couple of bucks here and there when it gets an 8 or you really whiff on something. But the 10s add so much value to what you're sending in to be graded. That's what we're looking for. And that's what we're shooting for. The price has come down so much on the grading. What is it with Goldin? You send these cards in, and what is it? $20 a card, and they end up on the site relatively quickly, within a month or so. Tim is back. Thank you, Tim. We are in question and answer time frame here. High Fade saying, oh no, we already answered that one. What is your opinion on Rothkard's $5 Hobby Squad Reddit forum? I'm not aware of that. I don't know anything about That's something that we'll have to look at. Patches O'Houlihan coming in. Shocked they haven't talked about Leighton Fanatics SGC live early break of Bowman. Cards will be graded live. Sounds interesting. These things, I think these things are just going to continue to be evolved. And I actually would like to see more integration with breaking and grading. Check out my cards and grading, all those types of things. What are Goldin's fees compared to other? They're very comparable. Right now, there's no selling fees, but Goldin's fees are about when he introduces the fees, and I don't have any insight into this. He keeps extending it. Honestly, wouldn't surprise me if he extends it another 30 days. He's got his Netflix show, I think, coming up at the end of the month. So maybe he wants to charge fees when, after that airs, but very comparable, 15% range, 17% range. It depends on the value of the cards. Do you guys do consignment like us selling? No, we don't. That's not something that we've gotten into. I don't know if we would, just because I don't know. Maybe it's a business we get into in the future.
You might end up like this guy. That's the problem. You might end up like this guy. So it's,
Yeah, we wouldn't want to end up on some guy's live stream and lose our jobs, even though we don't have any jobs. When's the last time you went to Vegas? Last year for the Money 2020 show. We were there for 3 or 4 days. There was a Money 2020 conference that I got a free pass to. It was like a $2,000 conference, and I got a free pass. We were there for a couple of days, had some fun. Ryan had multiple fun. We'll just put it that way.
Oh yeah. Good things. I always tell people that, man, if the cameras were rolling, in my personal life, it'd be a lot more entertaining than this crap.
Let's just say
I used to live in Vegas, so Vegas is fun.
Let's just say I had to take 30-minute walks multiple times.
But he was a witness. This is not just made up stuff.
No,
he at least saw the merchandise that I was working with, and he can at least attest to it, that, it was probably a PSA 9 or 10 quality.
Yeah, let's just say I got my steps in. Let's just say I got my steps in.
I had multiple submissions in that.
We were sharing a hotel room. So, the wingman's got to go down on the casino floor and hang out for a little while.
We're on a time clock anyways with those ones. Anyways.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. It was 30 minutes on the dot. You guys had never played hold game with the high-end wax. I have high-end wax in a safe, some F1 Chrome Premier Year, some other stuff's in there. I don't really remember what's in there. I wish we would have held all our 0304 stuff that we had. All that stuff's worth a fortune. We have the receipts back when we were buying that stuff. But it's debatable. High-end wax. It's like it's high-end today. Does it mean it's high-end into the future? And
it's hard to get that stuff. That stuff's regulated. Like, how do you get a box at cost at a good deal? You got to be a group breaker. You got to know, you got to rub elbows with the right guys. That's just not my game. I want to jump on these auction sites and I don't have to know anybody. I don't have to have an inside man. I don't have to have a freaking a wholesale license. I don't have to freaking go live and try to sell this stuff. So,
it takes up a lot of space too. Look, we're out here in California where it's, my house is not expensive, but we're looking at, hundreds of dollars a square foot. Okay. So it's not like I can just have, a lot of space taken up with that stuff. Are you guys going to the National Hall of Fame member Logan Warm? I'm not. That's 100% no for me. Ryan, are you going to the National this year?
Maybe, maybe that. The funny thing is everybody loves that one in Chicago. I mean, everybody talks about Laws, Chicago. The venue to me in Chicago is the worst one. The city's the best. I'd rather go to Chicago 10 times out of 10 than Atlantic City, than Cleveland, than the other places where they hold this stupid national. But I don't know. Maybe I could see a scenario where, I fly into O'Hare, jump over to the national, spend a couple hours. I'd really have to have some money to spend, I feel like, because I feel like I've been to the national maybe 7, 8, 10 different times, and I never spent any real money. And I'm kicking myself because I went to the 2012 national. Imagine I have pictures of freaking Michael Jordan autographs that were like $300. You know what I'm saying? I have pictures of cards that I should have bought. So I'd like to have a little bit of a bankroll. So and maybe here's the thing. It's crowded and there's so many people. And I hate to say this, but back when I went to the national, nobody effing knew who the hell I was. So showing up in Chicago is a little different now than it would be back in 2015, 2016. I've been to the Chicago one. It feels like 3 or 4 different times. I love the venue. I love that it's right near the airport. I love that I actually stay in the city. A lot of people, they stay right across the street from the national. I actually go into the city. And so you could take the L train down into the city and there's nobody on it because you're like reverse commute. So after the national gets off, you get off 5, go into the Chicago, go get some deep dish, go check out some merchandise, some Midwest merchandise, and have a little fun. So I have a cousin who lives in Omaha. So I wouldn't, I've tied that trip together to go see him and hang out and then come up to Chicago. So it's a possibility. Logan, honestly, if you were getting elected to the freaking Hall of Fame, again, I'd probably show up and watch, but Logan Ward.
Me too.
Look, I was actually at the Hall of Fame ceremony for Logan Ward in Chicago. It was fantastic. They have a PSA lunch where you get invited to. Shout out Val Mars, who NASCAR radio, who invited me, and I got to show up and see this. And there's a reason why PSA is number 1. It ain't modern. It ain't newbies. It ain't COVID. It's old guys with money who spend tons of money on graded cards.
Well, and they got the coin business too. I mean, PCGS is the same thing. The set registry is pretty big in cards. It's even bigger. I mean, we're talking about exponentially bigger in the coins. So it's just a company that just it's like a printing facility when it comes to money, especially once they move through the backlog. Hector saying the Burbank Card Show will later on. I believe it's a couple of months from now.
At the Anaheim convention.
There's a very, very, very strong chance that Sports Card Radio will be attending that. Jay, little off topic here. Do you boys like the strip club? Ryan, I'll let you answer this.
No. If you go to Vegas, I lived in Vegas. Again, I could speak with authority. I've been to Vegas. I've been to Vegas on vacation probably 50 times. I have lived in Vegas for 6 months at Vera Towers across from Aria. The strip club is the biggest effing waste of time. First of all, it's like 120 to get in. It's 150 to go on the back and for the girl to kind of like whatever, get on your lap. Guys, there are a lot of ways to get a girl potentially to your room or to wherever for a lot cheaper than the freaking strip club. Now, where I do like the strip club is Iowa, because the girls were really pretty and it was $25 to get in the back, but we won't mention that night. That was a spectacular night. If you go, hey, the strip club in Vegas, overrated. The strip club in Iowa, where it's $25.
Was it in Nebraska?
It was, well, it's right over the border. So it's like you're right on the border of Omaha and
Okay.
Iowa. Guys, $25 to get in the back, and she's really attractive. Cameras should have been rolling that night. That's all I got to say.
I don't know anything about a strip club. I've never been. Are you guys coming to any shows in the Northeast, New York, Pennsylvania, New Jersey? Probably, for me, no. It would be a no. Not that any offense to those areas of the country. I just don't see myself. I just don't see myself in that area of the country for any particular reason. Ryan, any reason to other than
A Pearl Jam concert?
that's
Sure.
beautiful.
Pearl Jam will announce their 2023 tour, and
Sure.
yeah, they'll play in Madison Square Garden,
sure.
maybe in Pennsylvania, and do New Jersey. And yeah, I'll do a 3-day tour and also go to a card show.
Well, yeah. Well, maybe a strip club fan meet at some
Probably in
point.
Pennsylvania. Because the New York strip clubs are going to be way too expensive. But I could see in Pennsylvania that you get a little outside the city, and now you're going to need how the women come in there. You need some cute women. I'm telling you, this one in Iowa had 20. I should stop talking. But there were probably 25 good ones, guys. $4 beers. $4 beers, guys. A shisha in a freaking Vegas strip club is probably like $50. A drink in a Vegas strip club is probably like $24. It's $125 to get in. Get in. Guys, there's a lot of better ways to get women in Vegas than going to a strip club. Trust and believe that.
Fair enough. Ryan, hour and 11 minutes in. Super producer Tim joining the show. Thank you for coming on. If She Breaks was in one of these,
Easy.
never mind.
Easy.
We won't go there. So hour in, I think it's Masters Week, super fun week. We want literally a boatload of stuff, I think, this week when it comes to auctions. So we'll have exciting stuff. Check out the Sports Card Radio Clips channel. Search just Sports Card Radio Clips here on the channel. We show not only clips of our live stream, but we also show like our unboxings, a lot of our stuff that we're getting back from Goldin or eBay, anything like that. Check out my cards accounts. We're showing a lot of that there as well. We have a lot of exciting news and views and videos coming for you guys here in the near future. But I really appreciate over 500 of you showing up strong on a Thursday night here at Sports Card Radio. Any last words, parting words, other than strip club recommendations, Ryan?
No, shout out Omaha, Nebraska. Shout out, I can't remember where that was in Iowa. It's right over the border. You guys know where it's at, but it's a fun time. Boy, some of my family members could really come on here and sell me out for what I did that night. But I had a great night. Woo! Can't wait. I got to be a little careful. I try to tell these guys all the time they want to go to Vegas and they want to go to LA. And so I'm like, guys, we should go to Nebraska and Iowa and have a lot of fun. But anyways, hope you guys, everybody out there, coast to coast, worldwide, enjoying Sports Card Radio. We're having a good time. We loving Kobe Bryant over here. We winning Kobe Bryant cards over here. $13. Is that a 10? That's a 9. I was gonna say if that was a 10, like, whoa, you guys should have been on Goldin.
Curator's gonna be jealous. We're winning Batman cards.
So we're winning Batman cards. We won a ton of cards. Oh, 2 packs. How much were those 2 packs? Come on.
$13.
You don't think I could sell authenticated packs for more on eBay than $15? That was $7.50 each. Come on.
So yeah, some great deals over here. I'm glad people are so self-righteous that they won't, they'll put Saudi oil in their car. They'll vote for corrupt politicians, but heaven forbid you bid on Ken Goldin's site. Heaven forbid that. Hopefully you guys have a wonderful day out there. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, the baseball, the basketball, the golf. There's a lot of exciting things happening in this hobby. We'll be here to cover it for you Another time, another place. See you next Thursday. Thank you all for tuning in.
Thanks, Tim. Thank you, buddy.
Thank you.
Congrats on your new spot.
For now, we're out of here.
B-side on the beat.
What's going on with that PPP? You done a lot of talking, not a lot to see. Up in the millions like 2.3, but Jeff got it all, getting off scot-free. Try to talk tips like we talking about stock, but you're talking about men printed on cost stock. When you open your mouth, I take it with a grain of salt, cause the market's down and you're a clown, it's all your fault. You ruin the hobby I love with your bullshit. Jeff Wilson, Jeff Wilson. You ruin the hobby I love with your bullshit. Jeff Wilson, Jeff Wilson. Did you dip, Jeff? I think you dipped, Jeff. What you talking about? I don't think you dipped yet. Willie's doing shady shit like the GOBs, like his whole failed thing with them NFTs, taking money from the people to pay. Most of them are broke, but that's okay, he's getting money. Even better, tax-free, loving all the stimulus from PPP. You ruin the hobby I love with your bullshit. Jeff Wilson, Jeff Wilson. You ruin the hobby I love with your bullshit. Jeff Wilson, Jeff Wilson. You ruin the hobby I love with your bullshit. Jeff Wilson, Jeff Wilson. You ruin the hobby I love with your bullshit.
B-side on the beat.
What's going on with that PPP? You done a lot of talking, not a lot to see. Up in the millions like 2.3, but Jeff got it all, getting off scot-free. Try to talk tips like we talking about stock, but you're talking about men printed on cost stock. When you open your mouth, I take it with a grain of salt, cause the market's down and you're a clown, it's all your fault. You ruin the hobby I love with your bullshit. Jeff Wilson, Jeff Wilson. You ruin the hobby I love with your bullshit. Jeff Wilson, Jeff Wilson. Did you dip, Jeff? I think you dipped, Jeff. What you talking about? I don't think you dipped yet. Willie's doing shady shit like the GOBs, like his whole failed thing with them NFTs, taking money from the people to pay. Most of them are broke, but that's okay, he's getting money. Even better, tax-free, loving all the stimulus from PPP. You ruin the hobby I love with your bullshit. Jeff Wilson, Jeff Wilson. You ruin the hobby I love with your bullshit. Jeff Wilson, Jeff Wilson. You ruin the hobby I love with your bullshit. Jeff Wilson, Jeff Wilson. You ruin the hobby I love with your bullshit.